Well, hello gang, welcome back once again to The Long Dark. Oh, we're missing a shot, let's fix that. Yeah, I'm just gonna leave that on the floor, why not? Alright, we are dipping off to Pleasant Valley. I have collected all of my saplings. Oh, this is gonna be a blizzard, isn't it? Is it really? Or is it just gonna be super windy? Make up your damn mind. I need to know. I need to know if we're gonna be windy or not. Or blizzard or not. Windy's fine. Blizzard's not. Well, blizzard might be fine. I don't want to take the hit to my clothing. But if it means no animals... The problem is the wind is in the wrong direction. Hello, buddy. Very much in the wrong direction. We're trying to get to the mine to get to Pleasant Valley. Well. Then this is going to be a problem. I decided to leave the hatchet behind. We have so much weight on us in saplings. I might not even take the saplings into Timberwolf Mountain. In fact, I probably won't. We have the revolver, that's all I care about, honestly. I've kept it in good shape, we have plenty of ammunition. I have flares, I can make torches. I'm generally not in a worried position about our, well, what we have with us. But we're gonna go straight to Timberwolf Mountain. We're going to dump all of our weight before we get there, as much as physically possible. Which will mean actually leaving the bow behind as well. As much as that might make some people sad. Me specifically. I'm people. But, yeah. Anyway, we're going to go to Timberwolf Mountain. When Timberwolf Mountain is cleared... we are going to go, now the wind is in the correct direction. Thank you, wind. I always love a good little helping hand from the wind. But anyway. Not even cold, 45 degrees is perfect. But once we're done clearing Timberwolf Mountain, we're going to Ash Canyon. We are blitzing for that technical backpack. Are we going to actually clear the entirety of Ash Canyon? Heck no. Again, I think it's kind of wasteful. Oh, it is going to become a blizzard. Ah, fantastic. Well, no more wolves to worry about. But anyway, now that I can't even hear myself think, let's turn the game volume down a little bit. I was saying things, wasn't I? But Coastal Highway is really the only region I do this on, where I go through and intentionally clear the entire region. I missed a turn somewhere. I have to look. Right? Now I'm going to be second guessing myself. I don't think I did. I went down there, went over there, whatnot. Oh, there's no barrel wolves to worry about anymore, I don't care. We're gonna get there one way or another. I think I needed to go further the other way. This is gonna take me up towards the lookout and not directly to the mine, but I'm fine for a little bit of condition as long as I know exactly where I am, which I do at the moment. Yeah, this brought us up here, so we do need to go this way. This will get us up there. I just gotta hunt for where the actual slip up is. Anyway, I think it's a waste of time to like purposefully go and clear, especially since they've changed how DK rates work, which I've mentioned before. But I think it's a waste of time to intentionally clear every corner of every region. I think it's better to get set up and geared up, which we already are. and then start pursuing your goals. In this case, my goals is to do the tails. So, just sprint to this. Where's the slip? That's not the slip. The slip's over here, isn't it? Don't want a sprain game. Don't give me a sprain. You're not that cold yet. It's only -11. It's not terrible. You don't need this out if it's a blizzard anyway. Genuinely not concerned. Here's the slip up. Just need to go a little bit further. And yes, we have the lantern. And our 20,000 saplings. I actually didn't count how many saplings we have, but it's a ton. I think we're just going to leave them at the farmstead because there's crafting available there. Maybe it won't be a blizzard when we enter Pleasant Valley. That would be wonderful. I'm not gonna pin my hopes on that though. There's zero guarantees. This is a nice thing about having the well-fed bonus. It gives you enough additional condition to kind of play around like this, which becomes very necessary in Interloper. It's not necessary, like we could hypothetically stay inside. There's no point to it though. Like the hit we're taking to our clothes is minimal. We've only been outside like an hour of in-game time in Blizzard, which isn't bad. I flare, I will snag that. Nothing else immediately available, that's fine. We're not grabbing the coal, we're not interested. Some stuff that we can take with us for sure, like accelerant and food, we'll grab, but we're gonna be hitting weight limits pretty soon. I only have, what, like 5 pounds of carry capacity, I think. Stim hiding over there, as is its wont. Nothing under. I remember when I used to hate Pleasant Valley. It's annoying. It is, don't get me wrong, but when I was a new player, ugh. Pleasant Valley was just the worst. Which way is which? I'm trying to remember. I mean, both gets us where we want to go, but I want to loot. I will snag a bandage, some simple tools. Yeah, there we go, we're already overweight. Now to the scrap metal. One of these crates you can break down. Some more revolver ammunition we don't need. I mean, it's nice to have, don't get me wrong, but we're loaded. In fact, we're thirsty enough, we could actually probably drink that soda just now and cut 0.22 pounds out. Alright, what was this way? Did we miss anything by not going this way? I don't think so. Just shot at some coal, I think. Yeah, because that's the way we would have come, and yeah, okay. Not worried about it, genuinely not concerned. 79 degrees with the lantern burning in here. It's actually pretty warm. The hypothermia risk should go away. It is already gone. I should have been paying more attention, shouldn't I? Oh well. That's Stalker, I don't need to pay that close of attention. Check here. A flashlight I'm not concerned about, that will stay. I don't need the extra weight. Flashlight is a niche item. It's useful during Aurora if you want to be out and about during it, but otherwise, just don't care. Let's not fall down though. Not that that's really fall downable, but alright, what have we got here? Some scrap metal I don't care about, some dog food, another firearm cleaning kit. We're not saying no to that. Cloth I won't say no to, the newsprint roll I will say no to. My hacksaw's in good condition. So we're set for Timberwolf Mountain. We'll probably find one up there anyway. It's Stalker. There's usually one at the summit anyway. I love how both the locked ones had nothing. Oh well, even the last one did. Okay, why could I pick that up but not that until I moved? More scrap metal. Oh, and a fresh hunting knife. I'm not gonna say no. Tessa, we're not worried about weight right now. Seriously, sweetheart. Just we're getting to Pleasant Valley. A flare. I will snag that. It's useful just for dealing with wolves. If we don't want to blast them all. And I don't mind wasting a if you consider it a waste, I don't mind wasting a flare or two. Alright, there can sometimes be goodies under here, so let's have a hunt. Coal, if we were interested, if this was Loper, I would be just nomming that coal up. Did we already look down here? Yeah, there's nothing. Okay, up we go. Alright, we gotta circle around as per usual. One of the annoyances I have with this, why can't I just walk across? I know why. Oh, it's still a blizzard. We're gonna take a nap. I was hoping we would have a change of functionality out there, but apparently not. Yes, thank you for getting in my way, you stupid board. More revolver ammunition. Fancy that. And some more matches. Alright, let's see where we are in the weight capacity. Yeah, we're barely over. Once we get a moose hide satchel, we'll be in even better situation, and then the tacky backy. We're probably going to get the tacky backy before we get a moose hide satchel, for the record, unless we dip into HRV to snag the pre-built one there. Which we probably won't. I'm just trying to get to the tails. Alright, what have we got over here? Stone I don't care about. Hot scarf. Sewing kit is an absolute yes. And some random coal. Don't care. Alright. Campcraft. Bedroll. Plop. Yep, let's drink some water. We'll be getting more eventually anyway. This is enough to get us to Timberwolf Mountain. Food-wise, what are we looking at? What is our most calorie deficient item here? Probably the crackers. That's 600 compared to... Oh no, 300. These are... What about this? 500. Yeah, let's eat this. And then dump the can. We don't need these spare cans. This is our most unnecessary weight item right now. We didn't finish it all. It still helps a little, gets us closer. Alright, we're gonna sleep. How tired are we? We're gonna sleep for 2 hours. Blizzard might be over. Sounds like it. Alright, Pleasant Valley. We are not looting Thompson's Crossing for anyone who asks. Oh, so it's still a blizzard. Okay. I still know where I'm going. Apparently it's not a blizzard. Apparently it's the last vestiges of one, otherwise it would be freezing, or else it's starting to kick back up again. Just watch the temperature bar, it'll tell us which is and which isn't. Right now it's deciding. I can't figure it out. But yes, I remember when I hated Pleasant Valley. Oh. Once you learn Pleasant Valley's an easy region. I think it's still going to be a blizzard. It's looking like it's trying to be. But it's not, so that means until it figures it out, wolves are a potential. Especially as we dip down through here towards Thompson's Crossing. Yeah, it's done. It's done. Okay, perfect. Hey, yeah, I used to hate Pleasant Valley. It was always very cold. I hated where the wildlife was positioned. I didn't know how to deal with wildlife well back then. It was just, ugh. It was frustrating. I still have this beef with getting to Desolation Point in Interloper. You can manage it as long as you have a flare or a torch, and you're willing to use a match or use the flare. I think this way is safe to go. If it's not, it doesn't matter. I don't mind pulling a Danny DeVito. But I used to hate, I still dislike it because it's frustrating. But it's not hated. It's not an instant death knell to go through what I call the gauntlet, the Old Island connector between Coastal Highway and Desolation Point. On Interloper, that used to just be, I would die 9 times out of 10. So I started going to Forlorn Muskegee for my forging needs, which is actually, I still think, a better choice depending on what you're doing and how kitted you are in Loper. The temperature's worse, but your capability of just doing what you need to do is easier. Avoiding wolves is easier, and there's some decent loot at the farmstead even in Loper. And then getting back into Mystery Lake, if that's your plan, is not too difficult. Loper's just a continual race. It is a battle, a legitimate battle between your needs and your condition. Whereas Stalker and Lower isn't. And now they're about to launch Misery Mode in the next update. So, for those who really want a hardcore experience where they can't... I remember... I love this. We had... I think we had all three... Or no, they added Stalker. We had Pilgrim and Voyager, and then they added Stalker, if I recall correctly. Back along the update pipeline. And yes, we're not stopping at Thompson's Crossing. Absolutely. Not at all. We're going straight to the farmstead. But I remember when they first were adding Interloper, which I believe came with the update to that added Timberwolf Mountain, isn't it? I'm trying to remember. It's been so long. And I've been playing the game so long. But I remember when they first added Interloper, the devs were like, oh yeah, we can't get anybody in the office to like last longer than a month in this game mode. And then within a week, players like Kimioto were just like, yo, 500 days. Hello? So now they're adding the misery mode, and they're saying, yes, even with people in the community, you know, we're starting to see people actually struggle to get past 20 days. Now, that doesn't sound like my cup of tea. You know, I don't consider The Long Dark to be a roguelite. It is, but it's not a game I would play like that. Like, it's not like Teleglitch, or it's not like Sublevel Zero, or it's not like, gosh, I gotta try and think of a couple other games that would fit that bill. But like where you play, you do a run, and then you either die or the run is over, right? There's some sort of end game. The Long Dark doesn't have an end game. You can play it, as a lot of people do, as kind of a pensive exploration. Let's turn the volume back up now that we're no longer in the blizzard, by the way. You know, you can kind of play it as a pensive exploration. You can play it like I am right now, just to complete the tales. You can do Loper, which is harder for survival, but misery mode, where there's pretty much going to be a definitive end, it sounds like, is not my cup of tea. I would also still argue there isn't an official late game in The Long Dark. There's early game and there's mid game. With the addition of the Cougar that they're planning, we might be pushing more towards having a late game. I would like to see more functionality that pushes players into a late game mindset where survival actually does become threatened. Right, in the early game, across all experience modes, you have nothing. Absolutely nothing. And your goal is to get stuff. And you can get to the transition between early and mid game. That would be a nice buck if we're hunting, by the way. But you can get to a nice transition between early and mid game. When you start getting clothing, if you're not playing Loper, when you get something like a revolver, you have kit, you have tools, you have gear. A mid-game, I would say, is definitely defined by where you have your survival sustainable. So for Stalker and below, I would say that means having a convenient and reliable weapon. I would argue the bow, not the revolver, the bow or the rifle, once you have that. And even in Stalker, you know, even if you do play a lot and you eventually run out of ammunition, you can still make more ammunition, so you can technically double or even triple the ammunition. But eventually you do run out of ammunition, so then you're just left with the bow. We're not stopping at the barn either. We're going straight to the farmstead. You know, then you're left with the bow for survival. You can do trapping, right, for rabbits. You can go hunt ptarmigan now that they've added those. So there's a couple things you can chase. You can chase wolves into deer, or deer into wolves, and then scare the wolf off. You don't even technically need to use weapons. That's not always feasible though, depending on where you're hunting and what's huntable. But it's a nice way to save ammunition, no matter what weapon you're using. But anyway, that's the mid game. I would argue there isn't a functional late game, like even if you are playing Stalker or below and you run out of ammunition, I would still argue there's not a late game because your survival is still continually guaranteed, unless you really do something screwy. You can always hunt, you can always fish, you can always scare deer into wolves, you can always trap rabbits, you can always hit ptarmigan. You can still, if you absolutely need to, make the teas, like even the birch bark tea gives some calories, so... But when it comes to Interloper, there is a late mid game where once you do have all your tools crafted, you do have the late game clothing. Well, I wouldn't call it late game, but you have the crafted clothing, right? You've got deer skin, buckskin stuff on your legs. You've got rabbit skin hat and mitts. You've got the bear skin, coat, stuff like that. Once you finally get to that point, there's still, just because of the way the world decays as part of the decay rates, survival does get hard in the later mid-game in Interloper, until you get to clicking level 5 and you can just eat predators. Because wildlife spawns start to decay pretty heavily. Hello dear. Oh yeah, I forgot that house was back there. Do we want to check that house? Again, no, not really. And so for me, in my mindset for this being a survival game, I don't think weather, because weather can just be punishing, it's not necessarily a survival risk. It can just like keep you cooped up indoors and annoyed and just force you to do the starvation method, which you'll just get out of as soon as, the weather cheers up a bit. So I don't think weather degradation in terms of, rates of blizzards and harsh weather is necessarily a compelling gameplay point. And I would also argue that just making the temperature even colder than it already gets, because it reaches a maximum, right? It does decay to a maximum coldness. And so, I don't think we should advocate for making the weather colder, but what I think we should do is make wolves more... reduce their spawn rates at times, and then also have, with what they're doing with the cougar, if you stay in a region too long, the cougar will spawn and start hunting you once that update hits. I think they should do something similar with wolves and bears and deer. I think if the more time you spend in a region, the harsher it should be on the spawn rate of wildlife, including fish and rabbits and everything else. I think if you're just holing up in a region, it should be forcing you to move. And then even then, I still think it should be somewhat harsh on, functionality there. Even if you move and go to another region, I still think things should be harsher to force you to actually be like, hey, you need to actually focus on surviving here. Alright, nothing good down here except the firewood, which again, we genuinely don't care about. Another flashlight. I'll grab the pry bar just so we can get to the farmhouse. I'm not interested in keeping it with me. I am not grabbing that, nor that. I'll grab that. I will grab that. I'll leave the newsprint. I forget, how do you get up there? There it is, over here. I was gonna say, I know there's a way up. Ye old crouch spam. Yes, I could harvest these. Why would I? They get me over here. How tired are we? Not even halfway tired. Let's scoop some water down. And what have we got over here? Anything? Mr. Corpse? A balaclava. Oh, yes. That completes our head covering trifecta that we were after. I wouldn't call it trifecta. Duopoly. And then yes, you can just drop here. It's not that far of a fall. You're not going to get injured.